Hi, my name is John Willis. I'm the instructor for EM690, and I just want to take this opportunity to introduce myself and talk about the course. It's unique in that it has sort of a different flavor to it than some of the other coursework that you've had, where you have regular lectures and deliverables. This is more of an independent course where I serve sort of as a mentor and guide and sometimes peer as we move through the process of your project. And so this is an opportunity, again, just to kind of go over the expectations for the course. We're doing it with the video format because there are right now 4 different sections, 63 total students that will be starting on the 22nd of May. It's late January, but I wanted to get this out there to you just to provide an overview. And some of you may already have started thinking about the sort of project that you would want to do for your capstone. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at some slides, and then I'll provide you with some contact information, and then if you need to get a hold of me, you're free to do that even this far out. Again, this is EM690 Engineering Management Capstone course for those that are in the Masters of Science in Engineering Management program. And this is just sort of an introductory briefing that I want to run through with you. So the agenda I'll use, a quick personal introduction, talk about the course and some potential example methodologies used to approach your particular project, a little bit on course philosophy and objectives, assessment in terms of the various deliverables and requirements for the course, and an overall timeline. And then if you have questions, I'll provide you with my contact information. You can reach out to me. In terms of personal introduction, I have mechanical engineering and systems engineering degrees from the University of Virginia. I served for just over 20 years in the Army. First portion of my career as a field artillery officer, and then transitioned into a professorship at U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Did that 2 separate tours, 99 to 02 and then 06 to 09. I retired in 2009. And between 02 and 06, I was out at the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, California, doing research and doing a little bit of teaching out there as well. Since I retired in 2009 of professional activities, I work for a consulting firm that is based out in Monterey, California, Augustine, and do analytical work and business development for them. I do some finance work for a veteran nonprofit called Team Red, White, and Blue. I have a small consultancy of my own that I provide some leadership classes and education services there. I own a small lodging operation, sort of a bed and breakfast here in Highland Falls, New York, where I live, and I'm a co-owner of a farm down in Virginia, a family farm. Then I also have some other activities in that I work for a local corporations. One is utilities and one is on economic development. And then as a member of the local Rotary Club, I also serve as a race director for the Storm King Run, 5K, 10K race, and a fundraiser for local scholarship students. So basically, that's my background. As far as the course, it is a semester-long project where you need to identify I'm not going to give it to you. You need to identify a real-world problem. In most cases, students, and this is my will be my 4th sort of semester teaching this course. You need to find a problem or issue within your own organization or a problem of a customer of yours. Something that can be, it doesn't have to be completely solved, but something that you can, that is complex enough of a problem that you can apply a number of the methodologies and skills that you've learned in your coursework to the project. There will be a series of 2 in-progress reviews after your initial proposal, and then there will be a set of final presentations. Half of you will brief in Beacon. That will be 2 sections, and 2 sections will brief in New York City. And I'll provide some more more background and details on that later in this briefing. As far as communication and reaching out to me, as I said, I sort of serve as a guide and mentor for the course. I can be reached. I prefer that you use the Clarkson EDU email address that I'll provide at the end. You can also reach out to me by phone. I'll provide both a mobile and an office phone number. And sometimes students want to meet with in a Google Hangout or some other virtual meeting platform. I'm happy to do that too. If you want to present me with some slides, or want me to look at some documents, or you just want to kind of talk more face-to-face, I'm happy to do that as well. So this just shows a sample potential methodology that you might apply to the problem. There's a number you may. I'll also show DMAIC, which is from the sort of Lean Six Sigma processes. You might take a look at any of the formalized methodologies that are out there, or you may come up with your own methodology. The bottom line is that you are in fact presenting a methodological approach and taking the methodological approach to your project. And so this particular methodology here starts with a problem definition where you're going to identify the requirements and stakeholders, do some value modeling, identify a set of metrics to be used to compare a set of alternatives. You'll go into designing these alternatives, as most frequently done as sort of a package of that could contain different approaches, different software, different hardware, different personnel structures, etc. Do some initial cost analysis, and then you'll move into a decision-making phase where you'll use the scoring methodology that you've used to score your various alternatives, do some sensitivity and risk analysis, discuss the trade-offs that you've made, talk about the budget, talk about how you would work with your decision makers for the final decision. And then finally, you would discuss your implementation approach. Where is the funding going to come from? What sorts of hardware, software need to be acquired? And then talking about how you would monitor and control the system once it's in place. And so again, this starts with sort of defining the existing system and some sort of ideal or desired end state. And so this particular process is shown sort of as an iterative one. That's why all the arrows are on there. And you can sort of iterate through this process as many times as necessary in order to provide a good final recommendation the project forward. So next, some of you may be familiar with define, measure, analyze, improve, control. If you've had any coursework on Lean Six Sigma, the DMAIC methodology is common. Again, any methodology that you choose to use will be fine, but the bottom line is that you have come up with a well-defined problem, that you've come up with metrics in order to analyze the various alternative approaches or alternative solutions that you develop, and that you come up with basically a final decision and a methodology for implementation and control of that method. So again, DMAIC, just another potential approach. Overall, as I've said, so this is there are no term papers, exams, quizzes. There are no regularly scheduled lectures. This is a practicum where you are applying the theory and coursework that you've used in the past to a practical application, and in this case, a defined project that you have developed. It is contract driven. It is a plan that you come up with. I am not going to provide 63 different potential projects. You develop the problem description, the methodology that you plan to use, and define the metrics that you're going to use to measure alternatives. The overall objectives of the course are to, and I've sort of said this, applying the coursework that you've learned and using the two primary communication means of written communication and then oral communication with a final presentation. As a part of your your effort, you need to define the requirements, you need to list the sources of information and research and data that you develop, and any assumptions that you've made as you move forward. And we're also looking for some innovation and creativity here. And so as you develop your solutions, find out what sort of research is being done down at the bench level, what are some of the states of the art in terms of software across industries. You should be benchmarking against other corporate entities that are within your domain, etc. And finally here, just sort of an overview on the assessment and timeline. This sort of provides a breakdown percentage-wise of the 5 primary deliverables. The proposal, which will be due on the 5th of June. Again, the course actually starts on the 22nd of May. The progress report on the first progress report on July 3rd, second on the 17th. And then we've got 2 separate presentation groups. The Beacon group, which is the first 2 sections, will present on the 28th and 29th of July at the gallery in Beacon. And the second group will present at the American Management Association down in New York City on the 4th and 5th of August. I've listed here that all the written reports, the final reports, will be due on the 5th, so there's no advantage for that for the later presentation group. Everybody's final presentations are due on the 5th. And so again, 4 total groups, 2 presentation locations. A key piece to note here is that with the large group that we've got, we have to do 63 presentations in just 2 days. You will have only about 15 minutes plus maybe 5 minutes of question and transition time to present your final presentation. So because we have to, we're going to try and do about 3 per hour, so about 20 minutes total for each presentation group, so that we can cycle through all 63 of you in basically 4 days. So so that's all I've got, except one final thing here. The proposal format is one where you'll just provide an introduction and problem overview, where you will, so the introduction, just talking about the company, your roles and tasks in the company, an overview of the system and the system's environment, any issues that need to be addressed, and a desired end state. What would be the optimal state at the when the project is complete? And then you should be doing research into the stakeholder, at least listing the stakeholders. You'll want to reach out to these stakeholders, conduct interviews and surveys. These can be, of course, people within the company, clients, also those that are impacted by your particular system, and then the methodological approach that you plan to use, whether it's that systems decision process or DMAIC or some other process, but just a listing of the steps and phases you plan to use to address the problem, the metrics that you have identified so far. Of course, that can be something that you work throughout the project until you start actually measuring data and then providing a weighing and scoring your alternative solutions, and then any data sources and tools that you know of, modeling and simulation tools you plan to use if you're doing some type of, say, assembly line process or other process that it makes sense to construct some type of either some constructive model or virtual model, and then and some ideas about implementation and assessment, how you would, where the funding would come from, how you would go about the purchase process, etc., and any potential challenges that you see. Often these are things like resistance from within the organization, funding challenges, etc. What I'm looking for on this contract is usually about 2 to 5 pages. I prefer that these are sort of written out, not just in bulletized form, and Arial or Times New Roman on the font, and you can create a PDF or a Word document. All of your deliverables, except for the oral presentation, will be submitted through the Moodle platform, and I'll, as we're approaching the class, probably sometime in May, I'll provide the link to the Moodle site where all of your coursework will be submitted. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me at the Clarkson EDU email address shown or at either of my phone numbers. But I do look forward to meeting each of you, and hope that we can have a great time in this course this semester. Take care. Bye.